Hello everyone, Luke here again. Welcome back to the MyTeam series. This time it is going to be round 3 of the championship around the Hanoi street circuit for the Vietnam Grand Prix. Hopefully the Minardi Viking team can build on the great performance last time out. I managed to get my first point of the season. You can see they're finishing in 9th. Dorian managed to get ahead of both of the Williams to finish in 19th position, meaning the two drivers, myself and Dorian, 11th and 20th in the championship, and the team is currently 6th on 2 points. We do have a bit of time before the Vietnam Grand Prix, so there's plenty of time to get some of these activities in. 9 days, and we've got 3 activities that are going to take 3 days each, so we'll go for each one of them, get everything nice and sorted, so that's pretty easy to fill that department up. Facilities wise, I know originally I said I was going to improve the chassis side of things, but I think could do with maybe getting Dorian up slightly better, so we're going to add a fitness centre just to improve that side of things. That'll be delivered shortly, but as you can see, that has reduced our money significantly. We only have $500,000 left, and that is not going to be enough to improve anything else. So R&D wise, the chassis department and the aero department are still working on things, but I'm going to improve the durability of one of the parts. Maybe probably the engine actually. Yeah, obviously the main part of the power unit is your internal combustion engine, so just a standard developing, 30% chance of failure. Hopefully that will be better for later races, because the engine is really going to take a hammering around this Hanoi circuit. I don't know if any of you have driven around it before, but it is extremely high speed, extremely fast. I think everything else I can pretty much leave for now, so let's advance for time slightly, see where we can get up to. Get a nice little bit off the aero department, fitness centre upgraded, and earn myself a trophy for that, so some team building. There we go, ready for the race weekend, ready for an attempt around the Hanoi circuit. Let's see how we can do around here. Can we build on our performance from last time out and secure the team a few more points? So practice is over, managed to get most of the programs done. The only one we struggled with slightly was the qualifying pace program. We couldn't get the purple target for that. Practice did not go ideal, to be honest. I think I used up more wings than a Boeing factory. It was so difficult out there, really not enjoying this track. And the only thing which could make me enjoy this track even less is that it's going to be heavy rain throughout the race. Now, because we have got most of the practice programs done, I am going to do another upgrade. I think some more durability might be needed, because 22 races to get through, it's going to take a while for these parts. So we'll make the turbo slightly better. That should be done after China. Hopefully that'll succeed. Another interesting thing that came out of practice was that we had to choose a rival. Claire asked us who we saw as being as our rival, and I have gone for Kimi Räikkönen. It was the hardest choice. I don't think I'll be able to beat him around here, because I am really not enjoying this circuit, but we'll have to see how it goes for the rest of the races. China, Holland, Spain, I think Monaco, Canada, and then France will be the ones where our rivalry will be decided on. So we'll have to see how it goes from there. But next up, one-shot qualifying. Just try and get a reasonable lap time. Make sure I'm not at the back of the grid. Finish ahead of my teammate. Finish ahead of the Williams. We'll see if we can beat a few other guys as well. Now, because it is raining, I have chucked as much downforce on this car as possible. So when it rains in the race, I want to make sure I've got the best possible chance of doing well. So might be a bit of a sitting duck down the straights in the race, and that's probably where I'll lose most of my time in qualifying, but hopefully I can still do a reasonable job. It's best I've done that section of track for a while, so definitely feeling a lot more comfortable now I've got that extra downforce on, even in the drive. But you can just see Hamilton just escaping from me down the straight there. Clonked that curve a bit too heavy. This could really be where I struggle. You can just see I've dropped down to 20th position at the moment. Probably even further down when we get to the bottom, so that means I'm either behind one of the Williams or my teammate, neither of which is ideal. Braked very late there, possibly a tad too late, getting stuck on the curb, wheel spin on exit, so lost a bit of time through there. And this final sector, extremely twisty and fiddly. It's all about trying to keep your momentum up as much as possible, and I don't seem to be doing too bad of a job. So that extra downforce again helping me. Ran wide there though. Just about avoid the wall. Come across the line, and in the end, that is only good enough for 19th position. So going to be starting near the back for this race. Wet conditions though, so hopefully the car will feel a bit better in those, because it definitely hasn't felt good in the dry.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So yeah, just ahead of Russell in the Williams, quite a bit of a gap back to Boccolacci and Latifi. Not too far behind Grosjean, Giovinazzi and Gasly either, to be honest. Raikkonen, our rival, nearly 9/10 of a second ahead, so going to be tough to beat him in the race. But you never know what could happen. Now that that rain's come in, that could either be a blessing or a curse. We'll have to wait and see, because there's only going to be one way to find out, and that is to get this race underway and see if we can get some more points on the board.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more, as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital, 23 corners and a wet circuit today that will challenge our drivers in each and every one of those turns, as the close barriers loom invitingly on the outside. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Albon, Sebastian Vettel and Sainz, Ricciardo, Perez, Norris and Daniel Kvyat, Ocon, Stroll, Charles Leclerc and Raikkonen, Magnussen, Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi and Roman Grosjean, a Mercedes, Russell, Boccolacci and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
I don't know why it keeps saying that I'm a Mercedes when I have a Honda engine, but oh well, we'll see how this race goes. 19th on the grid. Absolutely atrocious conditions. Trying to see how high we can get up. It'd be nice if we could beat Raikkonen, seeing as he is our rival now. He's starting up in 14th. Wouldn't expect him to move too much further up the grid, especially not with Leclerc starting alongside him. He's in 13th. Should just be a straightforward one-stop race. The forecast is for heavy rain throughout the race.
We didn't have the performance in qualifying this weekend, but considering last race, we might be able to get a points finish.
And despite Jeff's optimism, I think a points finish is going to be very difficult. So you can see there, one-stop strategy pretty much the only way to try and get anything from this race. And let's just see how this goes and see if we can maybe gain a few places in the race. Bit of a gap opened up round the outside there, and I'm hoping to just fit my car in it. I go up to 13th place, Raikkonen might try and have a run on me down this straight because I really do not have any straight line speed, and you can see he's just so much quicker than me. I'm able to go a lot later on the brakes now and just hold on to that position. So a good start from both the Minardi cars. Both of us actually gaining 6 places. Now let's just try and settle into a routine, but you can see when you're stuck as close behind another car as I am in the spray, you can barely see anything, and that is going to make it very tricky to try and overtake around here. Oh, I might be able to chuck one down the inside here without intending to. On Stroll, he'll have a much better traction on exit though. Maybe best to just leave this fight for another day. Magnussen in the pit, so he must have got damage on lap 1. Right, first few laps are done. Still in 13th place. Dorian has dropped back slightly to 18th. I'm not really keeping up with Stroll, to be honest. There's bits of the track where I am faster, but then when it comes to the straights, he just moves away, and Raikkonen staying constant at around 2 and a bit seconds behind, so could be a very lonely race. We'll see what the tyre wear's like when it comes to the pit stops. I might be slightly better than these guys around me or slightly worse, and that might end up affecting my strategy or my finishing position. Stroll does seem to be dropping back.
We expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Just dropping back ever so slightly from the group ahead, so whether he's wearing his tyres out anymore or maybe he's picked up a tiny bit of damage on his front wing, I don't know, but hopefully we might be able to catch up and jump him, or if not do it on track, maybe do it in the pit stop period. We also seem to now be pulling away from Raikkonen and Kvyat a bit, and I think they've managed to escape from the rest of the guys behind them, so 16th downwards. So if we keep it clean, we might be on for a pretty decent result here.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
Yeah, so as Jeff's just said, Raikkonen does seem to be dropping back. I am catching up to Stroll, you can see quite clearly. Getting closer to him, but just not able to be good out of some of the corners, and not having that straight line speed is making it difficult for me to overtake him on track. So we are due to pit next lap. I think I will pit next lap unless Stroll pits, then I'll wait a lap longer. I've got to try to do something different to the racing point to get ahead maybe. You can see I'm so close through here, but as soon as we get on the throttle, just not able to take advantage of that. In his slipstream slightly, using a lot of electrical energy, but I think once he gets up to speed, I'll stop closing in on him, and I'm not really close enough, you can see, to have an overtake here. Might have to come up with something imaginative if I want to get ahead of Lance Stroll. Yeah, didn't want to get stuck behind Stroll any longer there. Feeling I was a bit quick around some of the corners, but not able to do anything to get past him on the straight. So coming into the pits, maybe this undercut will work for me. It'll be another set of the full wet tyres. Halfway through the race, 14 laps done, 14 laps to go. This second set will wear a lot less because of the lower fuel load that I've got now. So yeah, let's see what I can do for the rest of this race.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
It's going to be pretty close with Stroll. I think he might just get ahead of me, to be honest, just because of the way the pit lane works coming out. And yeah, he's still ahead of me, so I tried something different. Outlap, probably a bit scruffy on these tyres and couldn't get ahead of him, so he's probably got the advantage now for the rest of the race. Raikkonen has actually caught up to me as well, but let's see what we can do. Can I close back up to Stroll and maybe still get that 12th position? Right then, 8.5 laps to go. Pulled away from Raikkonen and Kvyat, so they're not really going to be a concern now for the rest of this race. My main goal is, can I somehow find a way past Lance Stroll? I caught him up at the end of the last stint, wasn't able to overtake him. Slightly catching him up again this time, perhaps not as close as I was when I pitted, but caught him back up again. See if I can get closer and somehow find a way to get past him, because conventional overtaking places at the end of the main straights, I'm just not quick enough, so might have to try and surprise him somewhere.
Heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now, at least a 20-minute window of heavy rain.
That means it will be heavy rain towards the end of the race, so definitely not going to be any need to change tyres. Got to make these last till the end. They are 1 lap older than the ones that Stroll have got, so that might make it a bit more difficult to get past him, but we'll see. Still going to try everything. Spare fuel wise, I've got a tiny bit. 0.68 laps. It is actually harder to save fuel in wet conditions. I think it's just down to you end up wheel spinning a bit more, but yeah, in the dry it does seem a lot easier to save fuel than it is in the wet, so I haven't really got enough to push it up to the rich mixture and go for him. Not quite yet anyway. Maybe in the last couple of laps I might be able to do that on the main straights, but for now I've just got to stay in touch. Got a better run through that chicane than him, and I might be able to just go up the inside here. It's not a
Brilliant.
normal passing place, but he's able to fight back. This is just going to be a straight drag race, and I've not got the performance, I don't think. I'm running quite a lot of downforce. It's going to be a battle on the brakes, and I've managed to get ahead for now, so just had a bit more pace at the start of that second sector. Took the tighter line, that allowed me to get my car alongside his and through in the end.
Our gap to the car in front is 4.7
Try and break this gap now a bit, because he's going to be lightning fast in the straights next time around. He will have my slipstream, so got to really try and get ahead and push like crazy now. 4 and a bit laps to go. Can I hold on to this 12th position? Yellow flag behind me, something must have happened, not sure what. Kvyat out.
No issues with tyre wear for now.
Hopefully that won't
taking care of them.
cause any problems, even if there is a late safety car, then obviously the race would finish under the safety car, and I don't think the game lets that happen, to be honest, because I've never seen it happen before. But 2 laps to go. Still keeping Stroll at bay. He's got a better exit
Some information on
out of that corner.
They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Giovinazzi having issues as well, according to Jeff. Again, he's behind me, so it wouldn't affect my race position. need to be careful with the ERS to make sure I don't go below 10% at any point. That's where the deployment cuts off, and it's 150 horsepower. It's a big chunk of power to lose from the engine all of a sudden. If I do that and Stroll's pretty close to me, I would have absolutely no chance of defending. Nice little drift out of that hairpin just to keep me awake. Here we go then.
Final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race, lap 28 out of 28. Made most of our positions up on the first lap. Went up to 13th position. Dorian had a decent start as well, but he's dropped back ever so slightly. Caught up to Stroll in the first stint, tried the undercut. Didn't work, managed to sneak an overtake at some point in this second stint. But now he's really all over the back of me.
The car in front is 8.8 seconds.
He is pushing like crazy to try and take this 12th position off me. So, got plenty of fuel, got plenty of electrical energy as well. Just defend coming out of this corner. As long as I don't mess up the braking zone into the hairpin, it's going to be tough for him to get past me now. Valtteri Bottas taking the win for Mercedes. There's a surprise to see a Mercedes winning. And yeah, I can really feel these rear tyres starting to wear as well. When I put that little kick of overtake on then, really did step the rears out of line. Now it's just keeping it smooth. Final few corners. And if at the start of this weekend you'd have said you'd finish in 12th place, I'd have definitely taken that. You'd have said you'd finish in 12th after having started 19th in absolutely atrocious conditions, I would not have believed you, because I'm usually fairly shocking in the wet if previous F1 games are anything to go by. But there we go. Across the finish line. 12th position.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Charles Leclerc getting driver of the day. I think he probably will have overtaken a lot of people from 13th on the grid.
And a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once
There we
again,
go,
it's the
Mercedes
Silver
1-2.
Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Vettel in third. He must be doing pretty decent in the championship, I think. Maybe one day we'll get up there. Maybe one day I can sneak my way onto the podium. But I think we're going to need a lot more racers, a lot better car, and a bit of luck for that to happen. Plenty of points for my podium pass. Finally moving up another tier, so up to tier 7. New livery and a new helmet. I might have a look at that livery next time around, see if we want to change ours up a bit. It is a bit simplistic.
So, let's review the driver's standings. Valtteri Bottas passes his rival to take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So yeah, as Crofty said, Racing Point have actually managed to get their first point. We're still in 6th in the championship on 2 points. There is definitely a huge gap between the top 5 teams and the rest of us. I wouldn't be surprised to see Racing Point move up a bit more. Still 11th in the Drivers' Championship for myself. Dorian now down to 21st, which suggests to me he got beat by Russell in that race, which is a little disappointed if that's the case. And yeah, it was actually last place of everyone who finished because Kvyat retired. So disappointing race from him, to be honest, especially seeing as he got his way up to, I think, 16th, was it? Or 15th in the early stages and then dropped back. So at least that race is over. At least I don't have to do Vietnam anytime soon. I feel if it was in a better car that I was driving and it had been dry conditions, I would have enjoyed it a bit more, but practice and qualifying just felt awful. Now I've got to speak to Claire. Wasn't a bad race.
Cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Yeah, we'll go with the car is nimble, light, and can run rings around everyone else, because the slow speed corners, that's where I seem to gain speed, even though the chassis is the weakest part.
What's your secret?
Let's bump the team up. I don't want to be a cocky sod.
Things were close between you and your rival, but it looks like you're coming up top, doesn't it?
And again, I'm not going to slag Raikkonen off. He's a decent driver, but it's just a shame that I'm better at the moment. But yeah, brings the best out of both of us because he did actually have a decent race for given the car he's in.
Affected the outcome today?
Dampen my spirits.
Great. Well, that's everything.
I wish it'd give you an indication when it says your claim was affected by that answer. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because I think on the 2019 on the career mode, and I might do on the driver career mode on this, it does sort of tell you whether that's good or bad what you're saying. But you can see we've got 4 points in the rivalry there. I'm now leading 5-4. He got 2 in qualifying, let's not forget. So that race went well for me. Up to driver acclaim level 6 for me. Dorian's still on a level 4. That's going to give us a nice boost for the team, and so we'll get a bit of money from the sponsors. We completed the 75 laps during a race weekend. That should be a guaranteed $123,000 pretty much every race weekend, and that is it then. But the Vietnam Grand Prix did go better than I expected in the end. I think putting that extra downforce on the car did compromise my qualifying, but just gave me that confidence in the wet conditions. Didn't make too many major mistakes, managed to keep it pointed in the right direction at all times. Got past Lance Stroll a bit fortuitously and held on to that 12th position. So thank you so much, guys, for everyone who watched this. I think next time we will actually do the Chinese Grand Prix, and we'll have a go at that invitational event as well next time on the video. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you all next time around.